Washukiwa. Samahani. Naomba tupate taarifa moja hapa ambapo Katibu Mkuu wa Muungano wa Walimu hapa nchini NAT Bwana Wilson Sossion kwa sasa anatoa ripoti kuhusiana na hali ya mtaala mpya hapa nchini uliozinduliwa katika shule za taifa la Kenya. Tumsikize.
A homegrown, legally constituted commission to allow us move to CBC. None at all. The session of paper that has been brought to Parliament, where is the origin? It is an illegal document, even in its current form, because no commission in this country supports that paper. And even there has been no national conference. And if we can reflect on the drama of 19th of December 2018, it was informed by a study by an external evaluator, Professor Labanayiro. And we have enough professors in this country. Why do you go and bring in a master's graduate from the University of Cambridge to come and do what our professors of many years can do in this country? There are many professors who midwife the 844 and those who have nurtured the education system in this country. This is a foreign business meant to destroy the country, and the nation should not be a victim of foreign interest and business interests. You have seen the training capacity from these highlights, the training capacity of trainers. And you know, this is a shift, and I would like to teach you. The current education is, education framework is outcome-based curriculum. Outcome means you teach bodies of knowledge in every lesson. It is knowledge-based, objective-based, outcome-based, with a clear assessment framework. And that is why it is called basic education. Basic education means give learners knowledge. That's the primary thing. Give them knowledge so that they can be trainable to acquire certain skills. For you to be trainable, you must have quality knowledge. And that explains why it's failing in many countries. Because nobody wants an education system that will compromise knowledge, the CBC. And we've given examples of South Africa. They tried it for 6 years and dropped it. When you get through the report, you will read it for itself. It speaks for itself. I'm only making general remarks and overview and justifying the positions that we've talked about in the past. Which teacher in this country has taught competency-based curriculum? Which teacher would like to be shown a teacher who has really taught? And some of the best teachers in the world who have taught competency-based curriculum. And you have seen that is why trainings are not making sense. They are not making sense because those training do not even, the trainers do not even understand what they are training. And this is a sad situation. And remember, the KC program at the ministry collapsed because of corruption in training programs. So payouts are being done for rentals, for hiring of facilities, and allowances for no results at all. We raised fears about the tablets. And up to now, go to the ministry. The findings are that teachers were not trained at all. And so our issue here, our focus has been the teacher preparedness. And the fact that now the trainers are not trained properly, then what do you expect teachers to acquire? It's pure wastage of time. The quality assurance officers, we don't think anything has changed since December. That none of them conceptualize nor even understand the CBC. And indeed, as recommended, CBC, competency skills, should be resident in TVET and post-basic education. What this country should be doing is to strengthen mid-level learning institutions where there is enough time and learners at post-basic who have requisite competent knowledge through the outcome-based or objective-based framework can be trainable. We might end up compromising the knowledge content of our learners in this country. And I would wish to state that the session of paper that is in Parliament has been born out of the wrong process. Those were just, Mr. National Chairman, my general remarks over this process. And I really invite the media, please be more critical. Read this report, letter by letter and word by word. You will understand what you are talking about. Mr. National Chairman, the role of research plays in identifying problems which afflict society cannot be overemphasized. It is through diligent research and publications that breakthrough in various fields of life, including education and training, can be made. And I wish to state, reforms in Kenya must be guided by quality research. And quality research done by everyone, universities, and including the ministry. It should act on research findings. The government has recognized the important role which research plays in education and training in the country, and has continued to encourage individuals and institutions to conduct more research activities. That is a precise reason why Kenya National Union of Teachers embarked on a massive and intensive research on teacher preparedness. It's only one component, teacher preparedness, in the implementation of competence-based curriculum in pre-primary and lower primary schools. What the research sought to establish are: one, what is the competency and preparedness in the rollout of competency-based curriculum? Two, what is the extent of teachers and parents' engagement and involvement in the pupils undertaking CBC? You note parents' involvement is critical, and that is why we say this is an elitist system. There are even huge percentages of learners, vulnerable children, even without parents. What are the challenges? What is the extent of availability and adequacy of instructional materials for CBC? It is not just mere materials, but quality and tested books, tested to prove that they can help in delivery. The research, which took slightly over 2 months to complete, involved 1,455 teachers which were interviewed, 304 head teachers from 4 or 5 schools in 37 counties. In addition, 48 NAT executive secretaries were involved. I'm simply confirming what the technical department has outlined. The conclusions of the research. On the basis of the findings of the study, the following conclusions were made: that one, implementation of the competency-based curriculum was hurriedly done before the majority of the teachers were trained, even trainers properly trained, on its contents and teaching methods. It is a huge shift of pedagogical teaching from objective to competency. It is different, and it requires thorough retraining. Two, the data suggested that inadequate training of teachers will hinder most of them from obtaining a solid base of essential knowledge of CBC. So building growth on the content and delivery of CBC and knowledge capacity of CBC will not progress. That's a tragedy. And if it doesn't progress, it means CBC shall die. And we have cited countries where it has died. South Africa, 6 years, they had to move back. Malaysia, a rich economy that can finance infrastructure and all other things. We've not gone to the economics of CBC. You've seen the recommendation in terms of the classrooms. We need classrooms and small classrooms, small class sizes to deliver CBC. You cannot deliver even in a class of 35, 30, 40. No, you can't deliver CBC. It's delivered in smaller classes. A country like Malaysia had to leave the CBC midway. The UK, at the moment, they have refused to adopt the CBC, and many developing economies. How special is Kenya, which cannot even finance trainings, which cannot even finance a national conference? How special is it that it has the capacity to change overnight? These are the cautions we are throwing. Three, the study has concluded that most pre-primary, grade 1, grade 2 and 3 teachers have not been trained on CBC, and the few that have attended training sessions have not been adequately trained. Even if you look at the literature review in this report, countries that have attempted to train even high school teachers on CBC, the same teachers will go back to deliver teaching in the traditional pedagogical methods. Those are the findings that are here in the literature review. And this is quality work done. The literature review is so broad. It's telling us what is happening in other systems, Nigeria, South Africa, and several others. And we invite you read it carefully before you write your story. So don't create your intro here before reading this. Go read it so that we inform the country. We want you to be curriculum experts when you leave this door as media men and women and inform the country the truth. 4, teachers who are generally negative about CBC implementation and training. If you don't understand something, how would you roll out? Teachers are not robots. They are not computers where you program. These are human beings who are taken through training in a different pedagogical framework of objective-based, knowledge-based, and knowledge outcome. 5, the implementation of CBC is faced by untold hiccups. These are summarized as follows: lack of teachers who have adequate knowledge, skills on CBC and teaching approaches. B, lack of adequate approved textbooks for teachers and learners. Don't give us a narrative of media briefs of the ministry and TSC that we have released these books, we have done this, we have checked at the schools scientifically through a process that these materials are lacking. Even if they are available, they are of low quality. That cannot help any teacher to deliver the envisaged competency-based curriculum. If you go to Finland and Singapore, those are the only countries in the world that have delivered CBC, but with massive investment. Finland, teachers have been trained to minimum masters to handle any teaching. That tells you that's a nation that has invested in training. How much has Kenya invested in training? Simply to give money through the budget to TSC, where it is squandered through tentapru and newaring, with reports of trainings. The same process was done with the tablets. If money was wired through TSC to train teachers on ICT skills, then what happened? All of a sudden, the same teachers who are trained do not have any skills at all to operate and deliver digital learning program, because those were not trainings. Money was squandered. And even those who are pushing within the country, maybe within TSC and the ministry, they are interested in money that has been earmarked for training, merely for business sake. But they don't have a strategy at all and framework of ensuring that the teachers are properly trained. 6, trainers, facilitators, and teachers are still incompetent in the delivery of the competence-based approach to teachers and the learners. Now, surely, if a trainer is incompetent, what do you expect the trainee to acquire? And in the long run, what do you expect the learners to get? We shall be unfair, and as teachers, tunasema mbele ya Mungu, we are not going to cheat the public that we are teaching. We are not going, your children will, the education of your children will be compromised through this process. Because we cannot cheat you that we have capacity. We don't, and we have not been trained sufficiently. Because the trainers have not been trained, they even don't understand what they have. We are only treated to theoretical theories of how beautiful it is. You know, to praise something in words. And I still say, however much we get poetic about this curriculum, it may not translate to actual teaching and quality work in the classrooms. 7, adequate and relevant instructional materials which were to help teachers with in-depth understanding of the new curriculum were not delivered to teachers in time before the rollout of CBC. 8, the training sessions were poorly handled and their effectiveness is below expectations. We don't expect any change if there is any other training. It will still be hurried meetings for a few days with unprepared trainers, hindering the ability of teachers to design, to assess, and evaluate delivery of lessons and learners' outcomes on CBC. By the end of the day, the buck stops with the teacher in the